Trinity collapsed, but Reese's wolf instincts leaped into action. He caught her just as Riley and the others came into the clearing. Riley and one of his men had shifted while the other two remained human, so both wolf and human senses could combine to ensure nothing was missed. Riley shifted back to human form. "How is she?" "She's been through a lot, and she's beaten up." Reese lifted her into his arms. "I need to get her back to the house." "The men who took her left, going that way." Reese nodded in the direction that Trinity had been staring. He began to tell Riley about her eyes, but something in him told him to wait. "They have about a 1.5 mile head start, maybe 2 miles now. They were heading southeast toward the highway." "Deke, Nick, and Cole, track them as best you can." Riley gathered his men. "Her scent may linger with them." The men nodded and ran into the woods in their direction. "I'll head back to the house and prepare a room for her. I'm so sorry, Reese. This shouldn't have happened. This is my fault." "No, it's mine. I should have never left her alone, and none of us thought this would happen." Reese cradled Trinity against his chest, remembering the last time he had carried her in his arms. She was asleep then. Now, she was unconscious and unlikely to wake up. That's probably a good thing. Reese was stark naked after shifting into a wolf and back. She would most likely take offense to that. Riley was already ahead at the house when Reese arrived with Trinity since he had run ahead in his wolf form. He waited in the forest with a set of clothes for Reese. Reese knew he had put Trinity down to get dressed, but something in him hesitated. He didn't want to let her go. I'm being ridiculous. He finally set her down on the ground, propped up against a tree. When he picked her up again, Trinity released a groan. She was in pain. Reese's wolf snarled. Riley led Reese into the room he had prepared for Trinity. "Riley, I need to talk to you. Privately." Reese tucked Trinity in bed as Riley cleared the room, leaving just the three of them. "What is it, Reese?" "There's something I need to tell you about Trinity." Reese had not told Riley or anyone in the pack that Trinity didn't have a wolf. He didn't want rumors spreading and following her everywhere. But now, Riley needed to know. "What's wrong?" Reese could see that Riley feared the worst. "I don't want what I'm about to tell you to leave this room. You have my word, brother." Reese knew he could trust Riley. "Trinity is not like the other members of the pack. She's not like you and I." "What does that mean?" "No point in drawing it out." "She doesn't have a wolf." "How can that be?" Reese watched all the thoughts he had been sitting with since their mating cross Riley's face. "I don't know exactly." Reese shook his head. "But her mother was a wolf. I know that for a fact." "And her father?" "No one knows," Reese answered. "Either her mother didn't know, or she was afraid to tell anyone. Or maybe she was manipulated into not telling." Reese was starting to have his own thoughts concerning Trinity's lineage, and he wondered if he was anywhere near the truth. "Do you think he was human?" "No. We've had pack members with one human parent before. They still have a wolf, just a weaker one." "Do you have any theories?" "Just one." Reese hesitated. "I don't know if I want to say it just yet." "Fair enough." Riley knew not to pressure Reese. "What do you need from me right now?" "For now, keep your most trusted men around her. I'm going to call a doctor. We have a pack doctor here." "No." Reese's voice was louder than he intended it to be. "I'm sorry, I just need to call someone that I trust. I've already let Trinity down enough for one night." Reese sent word to his pack's best doctor. "There's been an emergency. Get her as soon as you can. Whatever the cost, I'll pay for it. Hell, take the helicopter." Reese paced the hallway outside Trinity's room. He knew he was forgetting something. "Vincent." "Is she all right?" Vincent answered on the first ring. He must have been waiting on this call for hours. After his calls with both his Luna and his Alpha were cut short, Reese couldn't blame him. Reese heard Vincent let out a sigh. "I found her, and she's resting. I'm waiting for a pack doctor from the city to get here and check her out." "Oh, goddess, is she hurt badly?" Vincent really cared about Trinity. "She's been hit in the head a few times, and she's unconscious, and I'm sure she'll be exhausted when she wakes up. I just hope the doctor's here by then," Reese added. "I'm so sorry, Alpha. I should have gone with you. I should have not left her earlier this evening," Vincent said sincerely. "No need to apologize, Vincent. You did as you were ordered to do. I would have told you to go as well. None of us expected this to happen." "Who attacked her? Was it someone from the pack? Who would wish our Luna harm?" "We have a treaty with this pack, and we know she wasn't attacked by wolves." "Wait, what?" Vincent gasped. "Then who attacked her?" "Warlocks." "What?" Reese growled as Vincent shouted into his ear. What do warlocks want with the Luna? I don't know, but I intend to find out. Reese peeked into Trinity's room to see her still unconscious. I have another meeting, which will have to be pushed to another time later in the day. I'll keep you posted. But Vincent? Yes, Alpha? When we get back, she is to be watched more carefully at all times. Yes, sir, I can promise you that.
For the second time in one night, Trinity woke up in an unfamiliar place with her head pounding. At least this is much more comfortable than the last time. The warlocks, the fighting, the kick to the head. Reese. Where's Reese? She tried to open her eyes, but even the faintest light felt like knives in her brain. She groaned. She heard Reese talking, but it sounded fuzzy.
Are you awake?
It was more clear this time. Not really. Trinity's voice didn't sound like her own. It was muffled.
How are you feeling?
Like my head is about to explode. It felt like an accurate description. She hoped the warlocks were in worse shape than she was.
A doctor is on his way. He should be here any minute now.
Does he carry a pharmacy?
I didn't ask. Reese chuckled. He was impressed by Trinity's capacity of a joke at a time like this.
If he doesn't, he's fired, Trinity growled.
Reese laughed again and brushed a lock of hair from Trinity's face. It was the first time he had touched her so intimately in private, without maintaining some kind of act for other people. She remembered the kiss they shared earlier, her first kiss, and she longed for another. She wanted to know what it was like to kiss him behind closed doors. She tried to push herself up into a seated position, and her throbbing head forced her back down on the bed. Rest, little bunny. Trinity had heard Reese speaking this gently before, but never to her. I thought I was going to lose you.
You came for me? Reese was quiet. Trinity squinted her eyes open to see the concern on his face.
Of course I did. Reese stroked her hair again. You're my mate.
When Trinity looked into his eyes, her desire for him was stronger than the pounding in her head. Despite his insistence that she was nothing to him, Trinity knew he could feel the mate bond too, and it was growing stronger by the day. He leaned in, breathing her scent. His soft lips just brushed against her own when he leaped back. There was a light knock on the door.
Who is it? Reese cleared his throat. It's Dr. Griffin. I'm here for the Luna. Reese eagerly threw the door open and ushered in a man in his early 40s. He was dressed in a casual business suit and carrying a dark blue duffel bag. Griffin, thank you so much for rushing over here. Reese guided Griffin to the bed. She sustained a lot of injuries and is probably just coming down from all the adrenaline. She's been drifting in and out of consciousness, primarily due to a couple of blows to the head.
As Reese detailed the events of the night, Trinity struggled to remain conscious. She tried to focus on his voice as flashes of the last few hours came back to her. Why could she smell the warlocks when no one else could? What happened to her eyes when she tracked them running away? And lastly, she remembered waking up as she was being carried. She'd tensed in fear, thinking the warlocks were dragging her away again. But it wasn't the warlocks. She was back in Reese's gentle arms. Her eyes fluttered open to his bare skin, glowing in the moonlight. She'd known then that she was safe. You can go to bed if you would like, Alpha. It's late, and I can update you in the morning.
No.
Hearing Reese's voice so close soothed her.
I'll stay here.
She was safe.
Want to know what happens next? Click on the link in the description below to watch further episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.